You good? Are we on?
We're on.
All right, so let's talk about the power snatch. What we want to do first is find your grip. A good way to do that is a lot of guys, they situate their hands on the outside of the outermost rings there. But what you want to do is there's a couple ways to do it. You can go and get that barbell and just kind of sit it and increase your hips. Okay, you sit and increase your hips, and then you want to extend those arms out, and then kind of feel where those arms lock out, and then go and stand. Now, if it's too low, then that's where the sensitive parts are. If it's not as sensitive, more on that lower abdomen, then that's pretty much where you want to be. In any case, you want to make sure that you're clearing the delicate parts, right? So just talking about the power snatch first, we want to go over the power position. This is standing. This is you just being upright, right? And then the power position is when you kind of start to bend your knees and that barbell sits nice and snug in that crease right there. Okay. Some guys even kind of tilt forward a little bit so they get a little bit more thrust out of their hips. Okay. So go and stand up nice and tall for me, and then we'll go into the power position. Ready? Power position. Okay. Go and stand tall. Okay. Power position. Feel the difference there? Yeah. Stand tall one more time. Power position. Good. Now from here, what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and work into kind of the shrug and then stand tall. Okay. So we just want to keep it simple, right? So we don't want to overcomplicate it. So from the power position, all you're doing is just standing nice and tall on your tippy toes with nice high shoulders. Okay. So from here, power position, stand tall, shoulders high, back to power position. Okay. Back to power position, stand tall, and back down. Yeah, perfect. One more time, stand tall. Boom. Back to it. There you go. We're gonna relax real quick. Okay, so from there, what we'll do is another part of the progression here is after standing tall, what you'll do is you'll go ahead and get into kind of a high pull. Okay. Some people tend to think that when you do the high pull, you're pulling back on that barbell. You're kind of doing this number. Okay, but usually that whole backwards action doesn't happen until that weight is super heavy, right? And you need to get more kind of torque on that barbell. Okay, so from here, all you're gonna do is we're gonna stand tall, but we're gonna finish with the elbows nice and high, straight up. Okay, and so sometimes I like to tell people that if you had a bunch of hair on your chest or on your belly, you just go ahead and shave all that hair off. Okay, so you're here, power position. You're gonna stand tall and finish with a high pull. Good. Back down to power position. I'll do it again. Nice and high. Back to it. And one more time. Nice and high. Back to it. Perfect. Gonna relax. So next part here is from that nice high pull action. Now we're gonna go ahead and stand and then turn over that barbell and punch towards the ceiling. Okay. So it's almost like it's like a muscle snatch. Okay. So. But you're really focusing on standing tall, and then the elbows are just going to flip under, and you're just going to finish with the punch. Okay, because a lot of times when you get into that snatch, that punching action is what's going to help you get under the bar. Okay, so from here, power position, you're going to stand nice and tall, rotate, punch through. Okay, you don't have to do the whole getting under it just yet. I just want you to muscle it up, rotate through, and punch. Yep. Perfect, just like that. Right, power position, stand, punch. Yeah, just like that. I'll do a couple more of those for me. I'm gonna pause in power position for me real quick. Okay, stand and punch. Perfect. One time. Good. Hey, go and relax. Okay, so now from there, what we'll do is from that stand, and instead of just kind of punching from here, now you're going to kind of get into the jump, all right? And some coaches tend to use the cue jump, and for a lot of athletes, it works really well. But when that weight starts to get pretty heavy, you kind of have to step away from that whole jumping cue, all right? But if you're playing a sport that's other than Olympic weightlifting, right, then that jumping actually helps out. So when you jump, okay, and those feet land, you want to make sure that the moment your feet hit is the same moment that your arms punch. So they kind of, the punch and the feet shift happens simultaneously. Okay, so when you're here, you're going to go and get into it. You're going to jump, punch, okay, and the feet are going to land just slightly outward of where they are. Okay, perfect. Okay, so nice and tall on that pull. Jump and punch. Good. Again. Our position. Jump and punch. Good. Let's do a couple more. Jump and punch. There you go. Good. Back to power position. And another thing too is, if we're trying to kind of promote more mobility, especially just with the barbell, what you can do is after you getting that whole snatch movement going, once you hit that jump and punch, if your feet are in the right position, then you should be able to go into at least a half squat. Get into it, then come back out of it. Okay, so go ahead and get into that. Okay, jump and punch, feet are in the right position. Go and try to get into that squat, right about there, then back up. Okay, nice. And you don't even have to go that low. Say you play a sport, that doesn't require you to get that low. Just go do a little half squat right there, back up. Nice, that's perfect. So when the weight gets pretty heavy, as long as you can catch it right here, then that's still a power snatch. Yeah. All right, so look pretty good. So what we'll do now is we just did everything from the power position. Okay. Right here. Now what we can do is we can start to progress kind of further and further and further down until we get to in front of the knees, and then finish with a full power snatch. Okay. So or hang power snatch, right? So what we'll do is again we'll start at the power position, perform the movement, okay, and then we'll go to mid thigh, perform the movement. Then we'll go to right above the knee, perform the movement, and then right below the knee, perform the movement. Okay, so we'll go through that right now, and any kind of tweaks that we need to make, we'll just go ahead and make that. Okay. So start at power position. Okay, and here we go. Nice. Okay, back to mid thigh. Solid. Above the knee. Right there. Good. Okay. And just below the knee. Perfect. Okay. So another thing too is once you get below the knee, sometimes I'm going to shake it out a little bit. Once you get below the knee, sometimes guys tend to just go straight up and then catch it over their head without making any kind of contact at the hips, right? And so as long as you found this solid position at the hips, right in your hip crease, then you should be able to clear your junk every single time, right? So when you go below the knee, you want to make sure that you pull that bar into you, make contact at the hips, and propel that thing up, okay? And so what we'll do, this is a little drill that I came across that works really well, is from that power position, you'll kind of tilt over a little bit, and from here, I'm creating a lot of pressure in my back right now, in my lats. And if I relax, okay, that bar is just gonna fall forward, right? It's just gonna hang over my knees. I pull it back in, okay, and it's in the right spot. Okay. Now what we'll do is just so that you kind of understand the making the contact at the hips in order to propel that thing up. Okay, you're gonna let that barbell hang, and then you're gonna pull it in. Okay, and give your hips a little bump. Okay, just like that. But the moment you go, you want to make solid contact, right? There's a difference between making love with the bar and being really aggressive with it, right? So we want to make love with the bar every single time. Okay, so when you're here, let those arms hang, and you're going to make contact with the hip. Okay, not letting your body move forward and backwards, right? But just letting the arms, the lats contract forward and back, and driving it into the hips. Okay, and then once you're ready, give it a couple taps, 1, 2, and then drive it up. Okay. Yep. And then you start to hear that the barbell kind of make that sound, right? Good. Okay, so when you come back down and you're in that position, right, you got to think about it. If that barbell was here instead of hanging out in front of you, right, it's essentially the same thing. I'm just going from in front of the knee right to that contact point, right, and pulling that barbell in towards my hips. I'm not bringing my body back towards the barbell, because then it makes my torso too vertical for me to get enough torque on the barbell, right? So what you want is for that torso to be tilted forward a little bit. Your chest is covering the bar, okay? Go from the knee, contact point. Contact point, yeah, let's do it again. Knee, contact point, boom. Knee, contact point, chest is still over the bar. Let's do it one more time and finish the snatch, okay? Knee, boom. That's perfect, let's do it a couple more times. Nice, not bad. Okay, so we're going to shake it out real quick. We'll go through the full progression one more time. We'll go from power position, mid thigh, above the knee, just below the knee, finish that hang power. Okay. Cool. Cool. There we go, power position, and hit. Nice. Good. Jump and punch. Yep. Above the knee. Good. Contact point every time, right?
Yep.
Below the knee, contact point. Nice. Cool. There's a snatch. Good job, brother. All right.